Voices from the Mausoleum is brought to you by the You Run Podcast Network and yourunpodcast.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum. Today I'm doing another book update of all the books and things that I've been reading. And it's a bunch because I've been trying to get in some author interviews, and I've just recently, in the last month or so, started doing reviews on the Sinister Scoop. And so I've been really picking up my reading. I have physicals of every book that I'm going to talk about, but because I thought I was going to be moving, I started packing up my books, which is what all this chaos behind me is. And I think one of the ones that I'm going to talk about, I think I packed already. So, but that's okay. I'll post a picture of it somewhere, post edit. Yeah, so it's going to be a total of, it's more books this time because no, it's only 2, 4, it's only 6. I think last time I did 5. Yeah, so the first book I'm going to start with is Our Black Hearts Beat as One by Brian Esmond. Michael Mallory's living the dream as the lead singer of a hot up-and-coming band, Modern Love. When a sudden breakup shatters his world, he plunges headlong into the city's occult underbelly in a desperate bid to salve his pain. Lost amidst wayward souls and brutish killers, godlings and grotesqueries, Mike's about to learn one incontrovertible fact. There's nothing more terrifying than love. Yeah, so this is the author of Man, Fuck This House, which I have also in a box currently. This was surprisingly cathartic. If you have, and I imagine if you're watching this, you have, but if you've ever been through a breakup and found yourself like really lost and confused and or in a lot of pain or with a lot of anger, this is like therapy. Now it's been a couple months since I read through this, but the thing that I can say is that the feelings that it kind of invokes, they stick with you. Breakups are really hard. Usually kind of can be regardless of the situation. So this book tackles it in a very interesting way. There's a lot of subgenres mixed into this. As you know, these reviews are spoiler free. I just talk about books I like and why I liked them, and then I try to keep it relatively simple. But yeah, this was a really, really fun take on a horror breakup story. I loved the ending of this as well. It left me feeling a little bit stronger than when I started, I think. And it brings up a lot of really valid points and feelings. And it's always interesting when horror can do that, can make you feel like you're experiencing something and you're feeling validated and maybe even heal you a little bit. But it's also very funny. The way this main character perceives himself and the world around him is comical and unfortunately based on probably some very realistic things that people feel about themselves. But anyway, I highly recommend it. It was a super fun read. I know he's got a werewolf book coming out, but I don't remember off the top of my head if it comes out this year or not. But all of the authors and books I talk about, there will be links and socials and stuff connected, so you can get connected in the description for this episode. So, but this was a really, really fun read. And it surprised me because I did read the back of this before I read it. This was one that I think I pre-ordered because I ended up getting, I think, like a bookmark and some stickers when I ordered it. I believe it's signed. Yeah, it says, Angel, it is better to have loved and lost, ... in the picture of a broken heart. So anyway, I recommend checking out that one. The next one I'm going to be talking about is one that I don't think I've been able to stop thinking about since I read it, and that's The Desert Island Game by Kat Valor. This is this is like up there with I also have a signed copy of her book Revenge Arc, which I believe I talked about in the previous video. She's just been putting out stuff so regularly. And yeah, so The Desert Island Game. The world has ended. Now what? When Bee wakes to discover she and her lover, Evian, are still alive after the apocalypse, things seem too good to be true. Soon she begins to suspect they are. The more concern she voices about their survival on an island paradise, the easier their lives become. Her attempts to ask questions are met by disinterest and anger from her partner. Why can she not remember key details about her life before coming to the island? Why is she seeing and hearing things that aren't there? How well does she really know Evian? As suspicion and distrust continue to mount, Bee realizes the apocalypse is the least of her worries. But is there a way off the island, and is paradise really hell? This is such a fun book. So I love the dedication for this made me laugh. It says, hold on, let me get there. To the lovers past and future who I would not want to be stuck on an island with. This is a super, super fun one too. So the thing about this, I think that I thought was so well done is And I did an interview for this book with Kat. We talked about, just kind of the plot point, like how she even came up with this, where this came from, because this is a wild ride. You think you understand what's going on, and then you get about to the halfway point, and everything tonally shifts, and it takes you in a totally different direction. This also has a couple of different subgenres, I would say, in it, including like maybe some fantasy elements, and some other things. So I think the thing is that like the characters in this are so engaging, and their relationship is so interesting. There's no lulls. This starts right in the middle of all of this stuff. And there are moments in this where you'll find yourself like wondering, like, what are you doing, B? Like this, like there's no way that I would just let that slide, or I wouldn't ask more questions, but it's a really crazy ride, which I think I'm going to probably end up saying about everything that Kat writes. But highly, highly recommend the Desert Island Game. I'm going to have Kat on in June to talk about her upcoming release. I'm going to be doing some giveaways of this. So if you're interested, she had some misprints of it where like this top section, this blurb is cut off a little bit, but otherwise the inside's in great condition. So if that's something you're interested, keep that in mind, because in her interview, we'll be giving some of these away. My next one was, I think, my most anticipated book of the year, right? This came out in 2020. This came out this year. Oh, I don't want to bend it. I think this came out this year. I feel a little like I need to just triple check maybe. No, this says 2023. Why was I thinking this was 2020? Anyway, the next one I'm going to be talking about is Ghost Eaters. Ghost Eaters is written by Clay MacLeod. Oh, I don't know how to say the middle part. I'm sorry, Chapman. A lot of people in the indie community, I think, know who Clay is. His energy and his vibe is like out of this world, supportive and warm and welcoming and friendly and funny. There's this really great video of him running around AuthorCon, just screaming in excitement. And he just seems like such a fun human being. I saw this cover and the title before this was even released, and I was obsessed. I was like, I'm here for it. So essentially, I don't even know if this has it does. Okay. So I had a copy of this that I did a giveaway before. That I did a giveaway for, right? And Kat went to AuthorCon and met him and got me a signed copy because she knows that I loved this book so much. And it says, so the inside of it, so brief description. Erin hasn't been able to set a single boundary with her charismatic but reckless college ex-boyfriend, Silas. When he asks her to bail him out of rehab again, she knows she needs to cut him off. But days after he gets out, Silas turns up dead of an overdose in their hometown of Richmond, Virginia, and Erin's world falls apart. Then a friend tells her about Ghost, a new drug that allows users to see the dead. Want to get haunted, he asks. Grieving and desperate for closure with Silas, Erin agrees to a pill-popping seance, but the drug has unfathomable side effects, and once you take it, you can never go back. This book was so good. This is probably up there for one of my favorite things I've read ever. I don't know, a long time, because it's really, really unique. So I tend to, and this is going to come up with a different book in a little bit later. I tend to, when it comes to things that have to deal with like addiction and drug use and how it affects the user and the people around them, I resonate with that. My biological mother was a drug addict, so these things just resonate with me. And this resonated. The journey that Erin takes as she loses this person that she was so deeply connected with, very much in love with, and the journey she's willing to take, and this concept that wanting to see someone who has passed away becomes this addiction for her, and the steps of addiction that it goes through, because it goes through all of them. It goes through like the initial attraction, it goes through the downward spiral, it goes through the rock bottom, it goes through the withdrawal. It's incredibly well done. Clay did a fantastic job telling this story. I genuinely cannot recommend this one enough. This one was so good. You get so invested. There were parts in this that I felt genuinely upset by, like in a good way, in the sense that like when Erin was going through things, my heart was in a million pieces, because I can only imagine what that would feel like. Right. But this is a beautifully done, like very well written, haunting story about grief and loss and addiction and recovery. And it covers so many things, and it's just very, very well done. So check out Ghost Eaters. Um, my next one is, I'll mention this one. So the one I don't have a physical of is Reanimated Rex. I'll put a picture somewhere on one of these sides. Reanimated Rex is by Alex Ebenstein, who I also did an interview with about that release. And it is a story about a park called Prehistoric Park that's been shut down after a mysterious death of one of the partners that ran it. And it's just been overgrown ever since, until one night someone gets in and doesn't make it out. And then it's a story about multiple people in different scenarios going into the park and what happens. And it's dinosaurs coming to life and eating people. That's a given in the story, in the back blurb or whatever. But if you are a fan of dinosaurs, if you love Jurassic Park, if you like anything in those wheelhouses, you're going to have such a great time with Reanimated Rex. I had a lot of fun with it. It's got some really great character archetypes. It's a really unique take on bringing a dinosaur back to life without going in a science fiction or a science way. This is very much more of a supernatural vein, but it's done in a very unique way. So there's a lot of call outs to Jurassic Park. As you're reading through, you'll be like, oh yeah, got it. Like some of the character names will strike some things. You'll be like, oh yeah, okay. So, but it's still a very unique story, and it's got dinosaurs eating people, and it's got some really cool, dino things like facts and names of different dinosaurs and stuff that I thought was really, really good. But all in all, just a really, really fun read. And it's a quick one. It's not super long. But yeah, I'm here for dinosaur horror. So if that's your thing, definitely check out Reanimated Rex by Alex Ebenstein. Sorry. So the next book I'm going to talk about is a novelette called Undead Folk. This is by Catherine Silva. This, and I have done formal reviews on this one already, as far as my writings is on it's on Google, I think, or not Google, Goodreads, Amazon. And then I think I did one for the scoop for this one as well. This is my signed copy. Is it signed? Yeah, signed. I even got a really cute sticker. My partner's like a massive fan of foxes, so I may ask her if she would like to have the sticker, just because I think she'd like to. Anyway. Beyond the smoke-choked skies of an apocalyptic U.S., a woman travels the desolate railroad tracks of a small town in search of revenge and a quiet place to settle. Her only companion is an undead fox, animated with backwoods herbal magic and the soul of a middle-aged father who died before the world fell into darkness. Undead Folk is a short, harrowing tale of sacrifice, loss, and damnation. I have the Wild Oblivion series by Kat. This is my favorite thing I've read by her. It's so well done. It's grief horror, which she does tend to gravitate towards. This is grief horror. But this dystopian world felt very realistic. The character, the main character, Janet, as you're going through, and the story is told from mostly her perspective. She is someone that I think everybody can relate to. The fox is very well created as far as a character and an entity, and the magic use is supernatural. It just flows. It makes sense. It just goes with the story. This one, I got to a certain point in this book though, where I felt like somebody had kicked me in the gut, because there's a twist and I was not prepared for it emotionally, and it wrecked me. And it was just very, very, very well done and very well crafted. So highly, highly, highly recommend this one as well. Undead Folk by Catherine Silva, aka Kat. All right. The last one I'm going to talk about is another one that's kind of in a similar vein as Ghost Eaters, as far as some of the things I'm going to have to say, but that's The Day of the Door by Laurel Hightower. I was fortunate enough to talk to Laurel as well, and we talked about this and kind of had our own therapy session, because that's what this book is. It's therapy. Yeah, I'll just read the back really quick. Once there was 4 Lasco siblings banded together against a world that failed to protect them. But on a hellish night that marked the end of their childhood, their eldest brother, Sean, died violently after being dragged behind closed doors. Though the official finding was accidental death, Nathan Lasco knows better, and he has never forgiven their mother, Stella. Now, 2 decades later, Stella promises to finally reveal the truth of what happened on the Day of the Door. Accompanied by a paranormal investigative team, the Lasco family comes together one final time, but no one is prepared for the revelations waiting for them on the 3rd floor. Yeah, I loved this. This was so healing for me. Kind of circling back to what I said about my biological mother. This mother in this book is someone that I know very much in real life, and going through the journey with these three different siblings who have all coped with or have processed their trauma and loss and grief in very different ways. You literally aren't sure what the real story is. You're literally going through the story with the siblings and learning things and figuring out things with them, which is very, very well done. There's parts of this that are really emotional and raw. There's parts that'll have you like really like amped up and eager to be like, to know what's going on. And there's a couple of like just one line things in this that just blew me out of the water. I love the paranormal team concept in this. If you want to know more about the inspiration of this, check out the interview I did with Laurel. We dive into that a lot, where the idea and concepts of this came from. And so, yeah, this one was another one. I got to the end and I was just like, you know, just another reminder of why horror can be so great, right? Is because it can really cover so many things, and it really can be cathartic and healing. And I felt healed by this in a way, in a lot of ways. There's a lot of this story is very conversation based. So if you've read other things by Laurel, like Crossroads and Below, which are the other two that I've read by her, and I've read a couple of her short stories. They're very inner monologue, inside thoughts kind of storytelling, where this is told entirely through conversations. I mean, there's obviously descriptive things too, but the conversations in this are so well communicated to the reader that you almost feel like you're watching the show yourself. You almost feel like you're in the room with them. And it was just really, really good. It was surprising. Some of the reveals in this had me just like there's a line in particular in this where I literally was like, what the fuck? It was so good. And yeah, so that's another one that I would highly recommend. The Day of the Door by Laurel Hightower. Wrapping up my book, what do I call these? Updates? I have no idea. It's been a long week, y'all. Sorry. I apologize for all the ramblings. I'm professional, I think. I'm going to take a second in this to also promote a book that Kat and I have coming out, or may be out by the time this video goes up, depending on when it is. And that's Sincerely Departed, a zombie epistolary horror anthology that Kat Valor and I put together, collected stories. We also have stories in it. This comes out May 27th. And as much as I'm happy if you guys just want to do it on, as an ebook or on Kindle, but let me just, this book is stunning on the inside. And, I just think you're going to rather have a physical. It's not that expensive either. Video archives of savagery, heartbreak, and survival. Letters tucked away, concealing secrets and whispers of ruin. The zombies have come. The world is in a state of devastation. All that remains is written records, puzzle pieces from experiences all over the world, stories about government, stories about loss and love, stories about human nature. What now? To what ends will humans go to hold on to their humanity, and how many of them will so easily let it go? Excited about this. So there'll be a link where you can either pre-order or buy it, depending on when this video goes live, but it's pretty. And I just wanted to talk about it really quick because I'm going to try to promote the hell out of this. Anyway, that's all I have for this episode. Definitely check out these authors and their books. All the links to where you can find absolutely everything that I discussed will be in the description for this episode, as always. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you've read these books and you have thoughts, let me know. I'd love to engage with the community and talk about these. I read indie horror pretty much exclusively. So I'm always happy to hear other people are reading it and talking about it. So that's all I had for this one. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you in the next one.